The assassin will attack his victim secretly, possibly at night or in a place where nobody can see him, while the Juramentado will attack his enemy in a broad light, in a place where many people can see him and in a frontal way of attack. The assassin has the intention to go back to his family or friends after the killing, but the Juramentado do not have the same intention because the latter wants to die at the very beginning of his mission. In this video, we will discover the historical background of the Juramentado. Juramentado in Philippine history refers to a male Moro swordsman who attacked and killed targeted occupying and invading police and soldiers, expecting to be killed himself. The martyrdom undertaken as a form of jihad, considered a form of suicide attack, and like an amok who commits acts of random violence against Muslims and non-Muslims alike. A Juramentado was a dedicated, premeditated, and sometimes highly skilled killer who prepared himself through a ritual of binding, shaving, and prayer in order to accomplish a brazen attacks armed only with edged weapons. For generations, warlike Moro tribes had successfully prevented Spain from fully controlling the areas around Mindanao and the whole archipelago, developing a well-earned reputation as notorious seafaring raiders, adept naval tacticians, and ferocious warriors who frequently demonstrated extraordinary personal bravery in combat. While Moro forces could never match opponents' firepower or armor, such bands used intelligence, audacity, and mobility to raid strongly defended targets and quickly defeat more vulnerable ones. One extreme asymmetric warfare tactic was the Moro Juramentado. Juramentado is an archaic term derived from the Spanish word juramentar, meaning one who takes an oath. They are devoted Moros who underwent religious and spiritual oaths before engaging in their mission of killing high-ranking officials and key figures during the reign of Spanish colonizer. Although the practice began sometimes after the arrival of Islam in the Philippines, the term Juramentado was first used by the commanding officer of the Spanish force, Jose Malcampo, who entered and occupied a little portion of Sulu in 1876. In the book Bangsamoro, Ritual Suicide Among the Tausug of Sulu by Thomas Keffer, the ceremony to prepare an individual to take the path to paradise is similar to the rituals of the cleansing and purification conducted on a corpse. This includes bathing in the river while facing the 4 cardinal directions, shaving all their hair, and trimming their nails. Sexual activities was forbidden during the period of cleansing, for they consider it to defile the body of the Juramentado. After the cleansing, they will then wrap tight cords around certain parts of their body. This would prevent them from losing copious amounts of blood, which could hinder their mission once they were injured. Peculiarly, their penis would also be bounded in cords to keep it erect. According to Keffer, this was done to ensure the success of their mission and might imply a type of homeopathic or imitative magic, mimicking the erected penis so that their body will be erect, upright, and will not fail. After the long and complex ritual, the Juramentado would don a pure white cloth and turban. They would then choose a bladed weapon from their arsenal, such as the leaf-shaped sword, barrel, or crase. A weapon with distinctive wavy blade patterns commonly seen in Indonesia as well as other parts of Malaysia, Thailand, Brunei, Singapore. In the Philippines, this is known as Akalis. The Juramentado would prepare for his mission in a most unique and painful way by having his testicles tied off with copper wire. In a state of intense agony, the would-be assassin spent the night working himself into a killing frenzy. By the next day, the Juramentado would be in a virtual altered state of consciousness, so filled with agony that his mind would no longer register additional pain. The assassin would then be led by his comrades to a place his target was expected to appear, usually a public place, to increase the propaganda and terror value of the act. Just before being unleashed against his victim, the Juramentado's arms and legs were tied with occluding ligatures to reduce expected blood loss from possible wounds to these extremities. The Juramentado will then charge forward, often out of crowd, and assault the victim with a distinctive Moro sword, the Craze, or the equally nasty-looking hacking knife, the Barong. Despite being shot multiple times by the victims and his escort or comrades in arms, the Juramentado would not stop till the target lay dead, hacked into bloody pieces, after which the Juramentado would collapse and die, his last mission accomplished. The book, A Political, Geographical, Ethnographical, Social and Commercial History of the Philippine Archipelago, embracing the whole period of Spanish rule, with an account of the succeeding American insular government by John Forman, published in 1906, mentioned how the Juramentados posed a constant threat to a community. Every few days, a Juramentado would enter the town and attack a white man with his barong in broad daylight. There was nothing furtive in his movement, no hiding under cover to take his victim unawares, but a straight, bold frontal attack. Barong in hand, a Moro one charge, a soldier's through the street, upstairs into a billiard room, and down the other steps, where he was shot dead by a sentinel. At another time, a Juramentado obtained access into the town by crawling through a drain pipe and chased two soldiers until he was killed. A harrowing encounter with the Moro Juramentado is vividly described in Victor Horley's Swiss of the Case, and it reads, "While they were trying these prisoners beneath the house, a Moro in nearby field was plowing rice with a carabao. They heard him shout as he leaped to attack with a barrel. Tembok ako," he was shouting, "shoot me." He came with long bounding strides, headed straight for the waiting patrol. Four of the soldiers opened fire on the advancing Moro in support of Lieutenant Elsie. A stream of hot lead poured into his body, but the Moro never faltered. He came nearer, slower now, but still on his feet. The Baron was appraised as he headed for Lieutenant Elsie. Elsie fired his last shot, and the Moro still came. 10 feet from the officer, a cracked bullet thudded into the Amok's spine. His legs gave way as he fell. He hurled his barong before he died. The patrol stripped the dead man and turned him over. 12 bullet holes were in his body. Elsie had escaped decapitation by only 10 feet. A Moro assassin running amok seemed impossible to stop. The problem was exacerbated by the fact that sidearm of the American Army in the Philippines was only a 38 caliber revolver. This small caliber proved utterly incapable of stopping the Juramentado. For this reason, the U.S. Army adopted the 45 caliber Colt pistol. The heavier bullet of the 45 could knock the charging Juramentado into his back, stopping dead his friends amok. The Colt 45 revolver firing the long Colt cartridge, not the latter-mode 1911 45 automatic pistol firing the smaller ACP cartridge, was issued to the Philippine Constabulary in 1903. It proved much superior to the standard 38 caliber pistols then used by the American Army. Thank you very much for watching our video. Kindly please share this video to your friends and relatives so that they may know the history of Juramentado. Thank you.